Hello, and welcome to another Spotlight on Employment for National Disability Employment Awareness Month. Thank you for joining me today as we discuss assets and resources for those who have disability benefits through Social Security. I hope that you are happy to join me today. We're going to talk about two specific ways that you can shelter your assets and resources if you're on SSI, so that you can keep some of your income and still keep access to your benefits. But let's go back and recap what we need to know about assets and resources first. For those of you who are on SSDI, it doesn't matter how many assets and resources that you have. Social Security does not care if you have $1 million or drive a Cadillac Escalade or are anybody important that has a lot of money. I can't think of anybody right now, so excuse me while my brain has a little hiccup there. But anyhow, um, Social Security doesn't care about what you have on Social Security disability insurance, so we're not going to talk about people who have that type of benefit today. Today we're going to talk about people who are on SSI, because those who are on SSI, remember that that is a needs-based program. Therefore, there is a resource limit, an asset and resource limit, in order for you to be eligible for that program. If you recall, last week I discussed that if you are a single individual receiving SSI, you have a $2,000 a month asset and resource limit. And if you are an eligible couple, meaning that both partners receive SSI, you can have $3,000 a month in assets and resources. So what are assets and resources? Assets and resources are all of the things that you own plus all the cash in your bank accounts combined. Social Security does allow you to have a few things that they do not count towards your asset and resource limit when they're looking at that $2,000 a month. Social Security excludes one car, one home and the land that it sits on, a burial fund or a burial plot or a burial account, and or a pass account or an able account, both of which I'm going to talk about today. Outside of those things, everything else that you own, so a second car, an ATV, a boat, all the money that you own in the bank, all your bank accounts combined, must be valued at less than $2,000 on the first day of every month. And people always ask me, Jennifer, does Social Security really check that? Yes, they really check that. And if you are over by 1 penny, you are over the asset and resource limit. So what does that mean for someone on SSI? What that means is, for someone who is on SSI, if you are over the asset and resource limit, you are not eligible for SSI for that month, nor are you eligible for Medicaid for that month. So you will not have health insurance or get your cash monies for that month. And that can be devastating to a person who relies on that income to live. So we want to make sure that we keep under that asset and resource limit in order to be eligible for SSI. So, think about it for a minute. If you can only have $2,000 in your bank account and all your things combined, can you save money for a car or to buy a home? No. It can be very hard to do that. But with the next two asset and resource exclusions that I'm going to talk about today, you can save money. One, in order for you to get things that you need for employment, and the other for qualified disability expenses to keep you eligible for SSI and Medicaid, as well as allowing you to save some income in order to get the things that you need. So that's exciting, and we want to talk about those things today. So let's just jump right in. The first thing I want to talk about is an SSI only work incentive. It is called PASS, or Plan to Achieve Self-Support. For folks who are looking to write a PASS, it is a living document that you write and you give to Social Security, and there is a PASS cadre of people who look at your PASS and determine whether or not they think that you are going to be able to successfully complete your PASS. The biggest thing about a PASS is it must be written about something that will get you towards a very specific work goal. Things that you need to reach a very specific work goal can include educational materials and tuition, can include a car, can include self-employment startup funds or self-employment business expenses, can include tools, uniforms, any other things that you need to be self-employed. The biggest thing about a PASS, however, is that we have to write it for a very specific work goal. We cannot write it to say, I would like to go to college. We have to write it to say, I would like to go to college and graduate with my nurse's degree so that I can work 40 hours a week as a nurse in XYZ sort of situation, whatever specialty you'd like to work in. Do you see how that's different? We have to be extremely specific in the determination of what job you want to do. Here's another example. Let's say that you're working 20 hours a week, but you would like to work 40 hours a week, but you cannot get to your job to work 40 hours a week because you do not have transportation to take you to your job to allow you to work 40 hours a week. In order for you to write a PASS for transportation expenses, including purchasing a vehicle, you would have to say, I would like to work 40 hours in my business or in my work environment, and I cannot get to my job 40 hours a week in my current situation because of XYZ, whatever that reason would be. It has to be a specific work goal. The nice thing about PASS is you can save your money, and you do not have to save all your money before you purchase the item that you need to go to work. So if you're purchasing tuition or a vehicle, you can make payments on those items. If you're purchasing equipment for a startup for a business, you can make payments on those things. And everything that is in your past, all of the things that are in your past, do not count towards your assets and resources. So if you own a vehicle in your past for a business, you may also own a personal vehicle because that business car is counted as property essential for self-support and is not counted towards an SSI asset and resource decision. Okay? PASS is a very powerful work incentive. However, it does take time and a lot of energy on the beneficiary's part in order to do a PASS correctly. I can help you write a PASS, but it's not my desire to get the item that I need. So it's not my desire to go to school to be a nurse. It's not my desire to purchase a new vehicle. It's your desire. So you must write the PASS. But we can include all the things that you need in order to be successful in reaching your work goal. So if you have any questions about PASS, please drop them in the chat and I will answer them next week when we talk about calculus with the CWIC and reviewing any sort of questions that we had from this month's presentations. I'd like now to switch over and talk a little bit about a wonderful way that you can save money and still keep under your asset and resource limit, and that is through what is called an ABLE account. ABLE stands for Achieving a Better Life Experience, and West Virginia has its own ABLE account. If you want to know more about West Virginia ABLE, the very first thing you want to do is go to wvable.com. wvable.com. Okay. But here in this website, you can find a lot of things about accessing accounts for West Virginians with disabilities, learning about tax-free savings for disability-related expenses, and learning about the ability to save and invest without losing those needs-based benefits and eligibilities. An ABLE account allows you to save money without impacting eligibility for SSI and Medicaid. And the nice thing about an ABLE account is you only have to have the following requirements to have an ABLE account. You have to be a resident of West Virginia that has a disability that you had prior to the age of 26, and you have one of the following: receive SSI or SSDI. You have a condition that meets the SSI's list of compassionate allowances for SSI. So you have a SSI level disability, or you can self-certify yourself as having a disability as long as you have a diagnosis from a physician. So you do not need to have SSI to have an ABLE account. That is very powerful for those folks who may not be eligible for SSI due to excess resources from their parents for children who receiving benefits or not receiving benefits from because of their parents' resources, but they can also have an ABLE account. And with the passage of the ABLE Age Adjustment Act, in a little bit more than 2 years, in January 1st of 2026, that age of increases to having a disability prior to the age of 46. So that will include many of our servicemen and women who are coming home with disabilities that need assistance, getting on their feet and having an ABLE account. So it's free enrollment online for a West Virginia ABLE account. You just need to go to wvable.com. It takes approximately 20 minutes to sign up, and you need to put $25 into your account to get started. So, what can you spend your money on? Or what do you do with your money? The money that's put into this West Virginia ABLE account is designed to pay for a qualified disability expense. This can be anything like housing, food, transportation. There are lots of different things that it can be: basic living expenses, education, legal expenses, health and wellness expenses, assistive technologies, things like that, that allow you to live and work in your communities. Funding your account is also very easy. If you are not employed, you can have up to $17,000 per year from all sources of income. So grandma can give you some money, you can inherit money. Anybody can put money into your ABLE account. It is not only for the person who owns the account to put money in. Anybody can put money into an ABLE account. But if the person is unemployed, only $17,000 a year can go into that account. If the person is employed, however, up to $30,590, so an extra $13,590 of employment monies can go into that account. So there's a huge profit for you to, there's a huge reason for a person to work and put money into an ABLE account. It really saves them a lot of time and monies that they may be worried about, so that they can save for things that they need. There are some investment options with ABLE accounts. Spending from your ABLE account is very easy. You can transfer money back and forth between your ABLE account and a savings and checking account. You can do a third-party check withdrawal, or you can get a Visa stable Visa card, just like a debit card. So, it acts like a debit card and does all the things that a debit card does. So there are a few SSI considerations when we're looking at West Virginia ABLE accounts or ABLE accounts in general. Any balances over $100,000 count as a resource, but they do not terminate you from benefits. They only suspend your SSI cash benefits. You're not terminated from benefits. The account holder, if they have income that they put into an ABLE account, it still counts as income even though they're putting it into an ABLE account. So you can't put your income into an ABLE account and have it not count against your SSI check reduction. What it doesn't do is it doesn't count towards your asset and resource limit of $2,000. And if you hold on to any monies that from one calendar month to the next, then any housing expenditures do count as a resource. There is no Medicaid clawback with this account. There is a small monthly maintenance cost of $3.25 a month. And it is run by the West Virginia Treasurer's Office. If you have any questions regarding West Virginia ABLE accounts, the Treasury does wonderful webinars regarding West Virginia ABLE accounts, and I'm going to give you some of their next events coming up. They have a monthly webinar, a lunch and learn webinar at noon, presented by the West Virginia ABLE Director and my good friend Roxanne Clay. The next one is Wednesday, November 15th at 12 o'clock. You do need to register for the event, so to do that, you will go to wvtreasury.com /savings-programs /WVABLE /WBABLE-events. I'll try to put that in the chat here in just a minute so that we'll have that for those who want it. But that is the next Lunch and Learn event. They're also having a special topics webinar coming up about authorized legal representative establishments, which will be done by the operations manager of the Stable Account Program, which is our West Virginia ABLE's lead program. The Stable program is our lead program. So that will be done on November the 1st. And again, you will need to register for that. But there are some wonderful videos that you can watch on the West Virginia ABLE accounts. You also sign up for the West Virginia ABLE accounts at wvable.com. So make sure that you go to wvable.com when you make sure you go to wvable.com when you're wanting to sign up. And I did put that events message in the chat, so you'll be able to go and register for those events on the West Virginia ABLE site. So thank you for joining me today as we talked about assets and resources and a couple of ways to shelter those in order to keep SSI and Medicaid. Join me next week as we do calculus with the CWIC, where I will be doing some SSI calculations and SSDI benefits planning calendars and answering any questions that you have. Please feel free to send any questions in under any of the event topics that we've had so far. Feel free to type them in, and we have somebody collecting all those, and I will be happy to answer any of your questions regarding anything SSI and SSDI related. So thank you very much again, and I look forward to seeing you next week on Spotlight for Employment. Thank you.